Welcome back on my channel, Salina Loves to Knit. Today I'm finally filming another knitting podcast episode. I'm really sorry that it took me so long to film one. I've just been, working a lot. I'm on vacation now for 4 weeks. So I'm working in a job where we are required to take vacations during the seasonal, school vacations. And before these vacations, there's a lot going on at work. We also had a huge heat wave in Europe. I'm sure you all know or heard of it, which was quite tough on everybody, I feel like. I've just not been knitting that much, to be honest. I've been editing my other videos that I've put up recently, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And I've just been existing and trying to get through the heat, to be honest. That's just why it took me so long to record another episode, but I'm super happy to do it today. I hope it's not going to be a super long episode, so I'm just trying to keep it a little bit smaller and shorter than usual. I am going to do this in a classic style knitting podcast episode. So I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing, I'm going to talk about my finished objects, I'm going to talk about my whips and also my plans / acquisitions. So enjoy watching and let's get into it. My first finished object, I have it down here, is the Oda vest. I just had to take a look how I'm holding it up, how it's right. So this might be a little bit crinkled because I already had packed it away for summer. I'm storing my knits in this vacuum sealed plastic bags to make sure that no moths are chewing on my knits. And I had already packed it away, but since I kind of spontaneously decided to record today, I took it out just minutes ago. That's how it's looking. I'm super happy with it. I did a whole video on knitting the Oda vest. I'm just gonna link that up here or up there, I'm not sure. And if you are interested to see the whole process, get a bit more detailed information of what I did, how I did things, maybe at what point I struggled a little bit, you can definitely check out that video. So I'm now going to talk about the basics. The Oda vest is a pattern by Skall Studio. I knit this in the recommended yarn, which is the Hjeltholt Ullspinnery Handverksgarn. I knit this in this really beautiful brown Kastanjebrun, that's actually what it's called, color. And I love this knit so much. I think this might be one of my top 3 knits that I did so far. It is obviously quite a warm and rustic knit. It has a really nice fluff to it. It has a super nice structure. I just love it. I might be blending in some pictures or B-roll footage of a reel that I did, so that you can see how I've worn it, because I'm definitely not going to put it on today. It's way too hot. But I'm just going to talk you through the details of the patterns. So there are 2 sizes. The first size is XSS and the second size is SM. That's how it is. I'm just going to look at my computer, so I'm not saying anything wrong. Needles that I use are 3.5mm needles. It is knit bottom up. That was a first for me. I was really scared of doing that, but it ended up being totally fine. I did some modifications according to the length of the whole thing, so I did not make it as long as it was supposed to be. Other than that, I did not make any modifications. It took me quite a while to knit this, but overall I think it was a really cool first all-over structured knit with cables, with these crossover stitches that were quite difficult, but I'm talking about this all in my video. I especially wore this on my trip to Paris, which I'm planning to do a vlog about. Well, the vlog is in the making, but I just have so much footage and I cannot decide which moments I should cut out and which I should keep in, and that is just really hard for me to decide. but there's going to be, in the future, there's going to be a vlog at some point about my trip to Paris in May. But that trip was really cold and I wore this pretty much every day. And yeah, it is such a beautiful vest. I would definitely knit this again. I would also knit this as a gift for someone else because I just know how much wear someone would get out of it if you like this kind of style. And also the yarn really got me excited. Like, it is quite fluffy even though there's no mohair in it. And yeah, I just really enjoyed working with Hjeltholt Ullspinnery's handworks garn. I definitely want to use that yarn or a different yarn from that company again in the future. Yeah, I think that's for the Oda vest. Now I'm just gonna quickly change for my second finished object, which is the Blouse No.1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I also did a vlog about my process of knitting the Blouse No.1. I'm also going to link that up here. And yeah, this was such a cool thing to knit. It was super easy. The Blouse No.1 is a top-down, contiguous, shoulder-constructed long sleeve, I would call it. I used 2 strands from Knitting for Olive. I used a merino strand, which is the Bordeaux color, and I also used the cotton merino, which is the lavender blue color I used in this garment. I knitted the first size, so XS, because I wanted this to be quite snug and a fitted outfit or a fitted top. Yeah. Yeah, I had so much fun knitting this. It was super easy. So for the needles, I used the recommended 5mm needles, but I did not bind off with 4mm needles, but with 4.5mm needles. Yeah. I did some modifications, which I'm talking in depth about in my video. Overall, this has been like one of my favorite things to knit because it was super easy, super quick. It was easy to understand. I'm in love with the color combination and the nice effect that the 2 colors have on the fabric. It has been too hot to wear for the past few weeks because, yeah, as I was saying, we had like a huge heat wave. But I know that I'm gonna get much wear out of this in autumn, in like the transitional times, and I got so many compliments on this as well. Like, it's really pretty. I love taking these pictures. I'm gonna blend them in. I put them up on Instagram, and I just love taking pictures with this because I really like myself in this outfit with this knit on. And yeah, it just has been a lot of joy, and I'm definitely curious to knit this. The recommended yarn is the silk yarn from Knitting for Olive. I chose to not use that, but I would be really interested in knitting this pattern with a like plants only yarn, maybe something like the line or another linen cotton mix yarn, to see how that would be to wear in summer. Yeah, I think I'll definitely knit another one of these as well because, yeah, I just love the pattern. My favorite thing to knitwear, she just does it right. Yeah, okay. I think that's it for the finished objects for today's episode. Now I'm going to talk about my whips. I have 2 whips right now. Yeah, I might be sharing the more warm whip. Yeah, so I am knitting another No Frills sweater by PetiteKnit. This pattern is just one of my favorite patterns, my favorite raglan patterns ever. I love it. I knit my first raglan sweater. My first raglan sweater is a no frill sweater, and I love that piece to death. And I wanted to have another one, so that's why I chose to knit this version. PetiteKnit actually had a few weeks back, I think her 10-year anniversary of that pattern, and she released like an updated version, and I thought, oh yeah, cool, that could be a nice reason to knit that pattern again and then maybe try out the new version of the pattern and everything. And I started doing that. I started knitting the updated pattern version, but I did not like it. And I realized, no, I just actually want to have this sweater that I knit exactly the same, with exactly the same measurements on the color and everything, but in another color, basically, like in red. So I ripped back and redid it just like I did the first one. So this is a basic raglan pattern. I'm sure you all heard of it, maybe because it's just such a common thing to knit as a knitting as a beginner, but also I guess it's just a good pattern. Yeah, I'm knitting this with Knitting for Olive merino in the color pomegranate, and the mohair is the colorway claret, and it makes for this really beautiful, I might be showing you a close-up here, for this really beautiful marled effect. Yeah, I think this is a bit washed out now because the lighting is just not perfect in here, but I hope you can see that it is just a really nice red marled effect that is happening on this beautiful piece of fabric. Yeah, so I am doing modifications. I am knitting this to my own liking, so I'm not looking at lengths of the pattern. I'm just knitting it, I'm putting it on, then deciding like, okay, I'm done, I'm doing the ribbing. But I'm using the recommended decreases for the sleeve, and yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think I did the recommended amount of stitches or anything. I think I counted the stitches from my first sweater and then just picked up as many as I did back then. I think that's how I did it. So yeah, it is a no-frills sweater, or maybe I could put it that way, it is a heavily by the no-frills inspired sweater, but not the exact same pattern because I did so many different modifications. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to finish this piece because obviously it's just way too hot for right now, but I'm almost done. I don't really think I have to put in that much more work. I think it's just like a few more centimeters on the sleeve, and then I could do ribbing on the sleeve. Ribbing on the body is somewhat finished. I just have to bind off, and then this is going to be a super quick thing to wear whenever it's getting a bit colder again. Hi guys, I'm back. I had to pause and let my camera cool down. It overheated. I made myself some tea. I'm still in my huge black tea era. I really love Earl Grey with oat milk and a splash of honey and one ice cube, so it's not super hot but also not cold. Yeah, that's what I've been having in my huge, for all time favorites, teacup. Yeah, so good. Okay, next whip that I want to talk about is my mixed rib Cami by Florence Miller. This is a top-down construction where you start knitting on the back. It is knit flat, and then you pick up stitches on these edges here so that you are then knitting little straps here and there, and yeah, then you basically pick up stitches for the neckline and you knit the front part flat. You do some increases here and then you start knitting it around under the underarm. The recommended needle size is 3mm needles. However, when I did a swatch for this pattern with 3mm needles, the fabric was just really see-through, and that's why I went down half a needle size and I am knitting the mixed rib Cami in 2.5mm needles. I've been having some troubles with this pattern. I think it looks really beautiful, the shape is really beautiful, but this whole mixed rib situation is just really hard. I'm gonna come up close a little bit and try to show you the irregularities I did. Yeah, there's one really harsh line in front of the top here. I'm not really sure what happened there. I guess I maybe stopped knitting and then started knitting again and somehow confused what I had to do. Then there's another line somewhere down here. Yeah, it's not that super visible, but it is somewhere here. And then there is a huge structure shift all over when I start knitting in the round. I also think I did not correctly understand what you are supposed to do when you start knitting in the round, because yeah, somehow in the pattern it says, oh, when you start knitting in the round, knit the stitches as you see them. And that got me super confused, because before you are doing certain stitches twisted, so you're knitting them to the back loop. But when you start knitting in the round, you're supposed to do the stitches as you see them. And I thought, okay, if I'm just knitting the stitches normally, the whole structure that I did before kind of like opens up and is not a structure anymore, which really confused me. So I tried out different things and I ended up knitting the purl stitches through the back loop and the stockinette stitches normal. Not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that got me the look that looked the closest to the part you knit flat. I don't know, but there's definitely a difference between the part up here where you knit flat and then the part where I knitted in the round, at least with my top. As you can see, I almost finished it. I hope I can finish it today and block it and then see if maybe all the lines disappear a little bit. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay. Yeah, I knitted this pattern in Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color licorice. This is the first time knitting a whole top with this yarn. I really like it. It's super soft, it's stretchy. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to use this whole fourth ball. I've been knitting this whole garment with 3 balls of yarn, and now I have 1 left, and I think I'm going to have a huge amount of leftover yarn. Yeah, so the pattern, yeah, not really sure what I should say. If I should say, yeah, it's great, or if I should say, it looks cool. In theory, it's cool. If I got it right, it would be super cool, but I somehow did not get it right. And I don't know, with this like small needles, it took like, I don't know, I should have taped the hours I knit on this, because it took so many hours. Like, yeah, I have like huge respect for people who only knit with small needles on small gauge, like these kind of tops. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I think I said that before, I'm not really sure if summer knits are for me. Yeah. We will see. Whenever it's finished, I'm gonna try it on again and see how that is looking. But for now, it's just not my favorite thing that I did so far. Yeah, and sadly the back looks definitely better than the front. There's no harsh lines here, which is super sad. But yeah, I ripped back a few times. I tried it again, then it did not work. It looked the same. And at one point I just thought, okay, no, I'm just gonna knit it, finish it, and then see what I can make of this pattern afterwards. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna knit this again, just because it took so much time, and in the end the project might not make me as happy as I hoped it would make me. But I guess that's knitting sometimes as well, to not like something as much as you thought you'd like it. Yeah, I think there's nothing more I could say about this pattern. I did see other people's projects beforehand. I looked at them. I also looked at them to try to decide which size I should knit. And I saw that some of them also had some lines and stitches confused. So I knew that would be something to look out for, but still I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I don't know. That's the camisole. No, not the camisole. That's a mixed rib cami. Yeah, it's gonna be a finished object in my next podcast episode, and maybe we can go back and then I'm gonna have a different opinion. But for now, I'm not really happy with it, sadly. Yeah, that was my second and last whip for today's episode, and now we can move on to acquisitions and plans. Yeah, I have something here. I ordered yarn from Miley's Hamburg. This is a store I went to in the beginning of this year with my sister. She had then gifted me a voucher for Christmas for the store, and now she gifted me another one for my birthday in April, which was really kind. And yeah, I ordered yarn. And the yarn that I ordered is Sandnes Garn Line in the color Matcha, in the color Matcha, and Tynn Line, also from Sandnes Garn, in the color Matcha again. I ordered this yarn with the intention to knit the Knitlet. So the Knitlet is by Simone Bergh. It is a top that you can wear with the back in the front and with the front in the front. That's maybe the easiest way to describe it. It's supposed to have a approximately 12 centimeters negative ease. And you are supposed to use one strand of line and one strand of thin line. It is knit up in 4mm needles. Not really sure if I'm gonna get a satisfying gauge with 4mm needles, to be honest. Somehow 3.5 is my go-to needle size. Yeah, so I thought I would be knitting this. It is a pattern, I guess. I have not bought it yet, so I'm not sure, but I guess it is done similarly to other tops where you knit the back panel, then you pick up stitches, do the front part, then you at some point you do decreases, you do increases for the armholes, then you join in the round, you knit in the round, and then in the end you are supposed to do an I-cord edge on the neckline and around the armholes. And that looks really, really cool. But I looked at lots of Ravelry posts and basically reviews where people also criticized the pattern a little bit. They said that the fabric, which is done with these two strands, is quite thick for a summer top. Which, yeah, might be too thick. Especially for a European summer. I think when you live in the, I don't know if she's from Denmark or if she's from Norway or Sweden or something like that, you basically have obviously colder summers. So this might be a perfect summer top for colder weather, but I think for European hot heatwave summers, this might actually be too thick. And also they said, so different people in Ravelry said in their blog posts about the pattern that you can definitely not wear it back and front either way, because the back part is like, especially the area here on the armholes, it flares out, and you can actually see that on lots of pictures that people took when they've worn it backwards. And I guess if keeping that in mind, I could somehow, I don't know, pick up less stitches in the beginning or not do as many increases, or yeah, I'm not sure how it's constructed, but I guess I could just not pick up as many stitches, so it would just be a bit narrower. But this really, yeah, it made me second guess my choice. And I've not bought it yet. It also costs 10 euros, over 10 euros, which I think is quite a heavy price for a top. I don't know. Patterns usually are between 8 to 9 euros. And I feel like for tops it's more like between 7 and 8 euros. I know it's just a few euros more, but I don't know, somehow with like people writing that it's not perfect, I feel like it's a bit expensive. It looks super cool on the pictures that the designer, I guess, took. But there are some project posts that are just not, where you can definitely see kind of like where it's not working fully. So I am thinking either I'm just going to try that, do it, or my other ideas, because I love my Blouse No.1 so much. I'm thinking if I should just knit the Blouse No.1 but knit it as a top, so just leave these sleeves off. So this would make for a boat neck top. I know that PetiteKnit has some similar tops out there. I could maybe also use a Florence Miller's pattern and not do ribbing, but just knit stockinette. Yeah, not really sure how I'm gonna do it, or which pattern I'm gonna use. But I definitely want to knit a top with this color. I love this color. I've not talked about the meters and everything, but I guess I've blended that in already. Yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a gauge swatch. So I'm going to knit these two strands together. So the thin line and the normal line. And just see with like maybe a 4mm needle to try that out. See how the fabric is looking and how I'm liking it. If it's too thick, I'm just going to use one strand of line. But then I would obviously have to use a smaller needle size. That would make for, like, again, another really small gauge knit. And I kind of feel like I'm not sure if I'm up for another top with really small needles right now. This is also supposed to be a vacation knit. So tomorrow my partner and I, we are leaving for a hiking trip that we are doing, and this is supposed to be the top that I'm taking along and knitting when we're doing like a break. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to knit during a break, but maybe in the evening. We're actually sleeping in like hiking huts, hiking accommodations on mountains. We're also sleeping on campsites, and we're also sleeping in hotels. So there might be evenings where I don't feel like knitting because there's not much light, and there might be other evenings where I feel like knitting. And that was the project I was supposed to take on that trip. And I still want to take it, but I'm not sure which top I'm gonna knit. Yeah, that's, I think, basically what I wanted to say. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I realized that I totally forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. You might have seen this before. This is my camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It is not finished yet. It is really short. I knit this last year. I did not finish it. I'm not super happy with it because it cinches in a lot on the armholes. And yeah, obviously I cannot really wear it because it's really short, and I just wore it today because I wanted to wear it, but I didn't want to wear anything with sleeves, and this is actually the only finished top that I own. Oh, and I'm sweating. I guess you can maybe see that on camera. I'm gonna have to open up the windows again and, I don't know, maybe take another cold shower. I'm not sure. It's really cloudy but still like super hot today. Yeah, I'm excited to get into the mountains and hopefully get some fresh air and breeze. And yeah, that's just how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope it is not a too long video and that I can actually put it up today or tomorrow on YouTube. I'm also planning to take my camera along on that hiking trip and maybe film some cute b-roll of me sitting in the mountains. I might also be showing you the top that I'm knitting whilst I'm doing the whole hiking trip. I might also just drop out after a few days if I'm not feeling like continuing, because we actually planned quite long days of hiking, and I have some issues with my feet, and I'm not really sure if I'm able to do the whole thing that we planned or if I'm just going to be able to do a few days. Yeah, gonna go with the flow, and now I'm gonna have to stop recording because I'm just sweating so much. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you have a nice summer. I am excited to show you everything I did next time. And yeah, if you like this video, please consider giving a like and also subscribing to my channel. I realized recently that over 80% of people who are watching my channel are not subscribed. So if you like my videos and if you want to support me, please consider subscribing. That would make me really happy and help a lot. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye!